You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
It is the 4th of July. Some last-minute tips on grilling and keeping families safe. If you're driving, a warning from Secret Service about how to keep your identity from being stolen at the gas station. Plus, cracking down on sunscreen. Yeah, the first state in the nation signed a bill to save coral reefs. We'll explain right now on Good Morning Suncoast. And good morning, early risers. It is Wednesday, July 4th. I'm Ray Collins. Stephanie has the day off today. John Scalzi is back in place with details of your holiday forecast. John?
Yes, indeed. And this is going to be an important one. They're going to have lots of folks out at the coastline this afternoon, and I do believe they're going to get wet at times. There's going to be showers and thunderstorms around particularly, which we're going to have to watch for. And remember our lightning safety tips this afternoon. So I'll call it a first alert weather day only because we have the chance of seeing some of those thunderstorms in populated beaches as we head into the later afternoon. Not anything that we're not familiar with, but nevertheless higher risk today. We're watching some scattered showers across the Gulf and Atlantic waters currently, but not a lot over land right now. So we start off the morning quiet. If you do have a commute day today, should be fine on your way to work. Again, in the afternoon, there will be scattered showers around. A big gyre in the atmosphere producing these showers moving across the state today. And at the surface, the reflection of that gyre is a trough of low pressure that'll provide us with a little bit better chances of rainfall. Our rainfall chances today come in at about 50%, maxing out probably during the early afternoon, but then as they build in inland areas, drifting back toward the coastline. We'll talk about the timing coming up in just a minute.
Our new SAT word, gyre. Gyre is the word from John Scalzi. There is a live shot right now from our camera stationed at I-75 and Bee Ridge Road, focused in there on some traffic under the overpass at Interstate 75. Certainly a busy spot, also a future spot of the next diverging diamond in our area. All right, let's go to the maps right now. There's the scene in Manatee County. As you see, already some buildup between Palmetto and Ellington in both directions on 301. So be aware of that. Not sure why it's so crowded there already this morning. Checking farther south now into the upper half of Sarasota County. We see some activity down by 41 and Stickney Point Road, both southbound 41 and westbound, where Clark becomes Stickney Point, right there at the bend at Swift Road. And then checking farther south now in the maps, the only thing we really see is back up in the top left corner of your screen, northbound 41 as you approach Clark from the Gulf Gate, and also farther south on 75 as you drive through the Northport area. Well, if your plans today involve using a grill, there are some safety tips to keep in mind. Our Marla Spence has some ideas for us now. Marla, good morning.
Hey Ray, good morning and happy 4th of July. Today, many people will be pulling out those barbecue grills in celebration of Independence Day. The system's fire chief for Sarasota County says within the last few years, they've seen quite a few grilling fires and accidents. This 4th of July, the fire department is stressing the importance of using your grill correctly. Although the holiday could be one of the most exciting, it could also become one of the most dangerous for some. Mike Hartley with the Sarasota County Fire Department says neither grill, charcoal, or gas are less dangerous than the other. He says for both kinds, you will need to be very cautious and remember not to overload your grill with food. He says before you get to that step, though, there are a few things that you need to do to make sure you and your family are safe this holiday.
First, make sure you start with a clean grill. Get it at least 10 feet away from the occupancy or the house or wherever you're doing some grilling, so there's nothing near or around it that could catch on fire. And you do want to make sure that when you are grilling first, especially in a gas grill, keep the lid open when you're lighting it. You don't want the gas build up and here you are trying to ignite it and then all of a sudden it lets go. So
Hartley says one other thing to remember is not to leave your grill unattended. He says some of the worst fires has involved people walking away from their grill. Ray?
Good tips. Thank you, Marla. The Secret Service is warning drivers about a surge in the number of criminals targeting gas pumps with hidden devices known as skimmers that can steal your credit card information. Police say it's best to use a credit card and not a debit card at the pump so you can stop fraudulent charges. And if you can, pay inside, especially if these stations off an interstate ramp where criminals can easily come and go. Next half hour at 5:30, we'll show you exactly how these skimming devices work. Well, despite a series of strong storms last night, fireworks still went off last night at Nathan Benderson Park. Besides the late show, People had a chance to enjoy some good music and food. It didn't look good for a while when thunder and lightning coincided with the start of the event about 4 p.m. Look at that. The storm sent some folks running for cover and toppled vendor tents. But organizers say once the rain passed, the night worked out pretty well. So why do they hold this event on the 3rd of July?
We do it the day before the 4th because there's so many other choices of things to do on the 4th of July. There are other plans that you want to do. You can go picnic or you can barbecue in your backyard. There's other fireworks going on. So we want to give the community something that is on and off night.
The fireworks lasted about 15 minutes over the park. And the fireworks continue tonight for Independence Day. You can see the show over Sarasota Bay from anywhere downtown. It starts around 9 p.m. around Marina Jack. For a beach view, you can check out the 4th of July at Siesta Key Beach. The viewing area opens at 6 and fireworks begin at dusk. Another option, fireworks over the Manatee River. That display will be along the Riverwalk, starts at 9. For the other shows in the area, and there are several other shows on the Suncoast, check out our website at mysuncoast.com. After a dozen contractors were arrested in Sarasota County for not having a license, we talked to an expert about how to make sure you're hiring a legitimate contractor. Denny Yoder says the process to become licensed is quite rigorous. He took an 18-hour test, he says, and has 5 years prior experience. He also says hiring an unlicensed contractor means they don't have the required insurance or permits, and this means the work they do likely won't be up to code, which could cost you more in the long run.
Well, a lot of people don't think about it until after the fact when there's a problem. That's when they think, gosh, I should have taken the time up front. But it's really important to make sure that you're dealing with someone who is following all the rules, doing things right.
So first off, Yoder says always ask contractors to see a copy of their license. Sarasota City's Clerk of Courts wants a new $500,000 facility to hold the city documents, but not everybody's in favor of that right now. In fact, the mayor, Liz Alpert, says the timing couldn't be worse for this request. She says the city is already considering raising taxes this year, and she says a new facility doesn't make sense if they're moving toward a paperless future.
I think just with all of the things that we're looking at in terms of how to, close a budget gap, this is not something that we need to be doing. We can store these off-site for around $4,000.
Now, supporters say that the city needs a new facility because the current one on 17th Street is in bad condition and documents can get damaged. The city of Northport's in the process of taking over a fire station. A 5-year plan for emergency services calls for backing away from services that are currently controlled by Sarasota County. Well, that station covers calls in the West Villages area, where a multi-million-dollar spring training complex for the Braves is currently being built, along with hundreds of new homes as well.
We've put in for a SAFER grant, which is a federal grant for 21 positions. We're waiting to hear on that. We hope to hear something in the next month as to whether or not we'll be successful on that. It helps fund those positions and bring them on instead of having to absorb that cost immediately over a 1-year period or phase in over 2 years.
City officials say it's a long-term process, and they're looking at potential growth areas across Northport and making changes as needed. Charlotte County is asking for your help to help put together a calendar for next year. They call it Show Us Your Charlotte. They are asking you to send them your best pictures of the area, beaches and parks and waterways, preserves, or people. The best shots will be featured in their calendar for 2019. If you have a picture, you can submit it through our website at mysuncoast.com. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, 12 soccer players and their coach stuck in a flooded cave for 11 days now. The rescue efforts are underway. Later in the hour, fireworks are all fun and games until somebody gets hurt. This morning, we hear from a man who lost his hand while shooting fireworks. The warning he has for families tonight. It is 5:09 right now. Here's a live shot of New York City. Looks like a little overcast there right now. Boy, and yesterday, John, about 4 o'clock, the skies opened up, loud thunder and severe lightning on the Suncoast.
Yes, it did. And in fact, I think we might see a repeat of that again today. I've checked the rain box, not for your commute to work, if you do have to commute today, but for the commute home from work, where there will be numerous showers and thunderstorms around once again. We'll call it upper 80s as you head home, and between 5 and 7, there could be quite a little lightning show in our sky, and I don't mean fireworks. The Sarasota Airport's all running on time. The airport hubs, rather, serving the Sarasota International Airport. From Atlanta to Reagan, all look good. We'll have the forecast for you coming up in just a few.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
Judy here, I think hospice was a tremendous source of support for her.
Absolutely. With Jennifer and Kimberly and Liza's constant contact with us, coming in, just knowing that there was someone with knowledge there to back us up, to answer our questions, it made a world of difference.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery?
Sure.
We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 78.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
74-degree air temperature. We have a dew point value of 72. Heat index is same as the air temperature right now. And we have a fairly nice clear sky out there. Pressure coming in at 30.02. We have a little disturbance in our atmosphere that's going to up our chances of rain showers today a little bit. I've called it a first alert weather day, not because we'll see anything that's terribly out of the ordinary for Florida in the summer, but because there'll be so many people affected that it could be disruptive weather as we head into the afternoon, with people out near the beaches setting up their spots a little bit early for fireworks displays. And as we head into the afternoon, I think showers and thunderstorms will become numerous in inland areas, and they'll drift back to the coastline as they die out. So there could be numerous lightning strikes around this afternoon. Remember your lightning safety tips. Forecast calls for, again, showers and thunderstorms similar to what we saw yesterday, building along the sea breeze, pushed out into Gulf waters, producing quite a little lightning show. We have an area of low pressure that will enhance the rainfall chances for us today. Right now, everything's quiet, and I think most of the morning hours will be quiet. Most of the early afternoon hours will be quiet till we get till about probably 2, 3, 4 o'clock, then things will start heating up once again across the region. Latest red tide status from Moat Marine spotters along our area beaches. Again, indicating a few spots where there is still a reasonable amount of toxins in the air, creating some irritation, respiratory irritation. That's in Nokomis, Venice, Minnesota, Gasparilla, and Lido as well. Siesta coming in quiet as of the last 24 hours. Holmes Beach, well, again, recall that these are sort of transient areas of irritant in the air. So, you know, one beach could have it, the next beach might not, and it can change in as little as hours. So that's one thing we'll have to watch. The winds will be onshore as we head into the afternoon once again, though, and we'll keep you updated, of course, as we head into the probably 10, 11 o'clock hour. We'll get updates on a lot of those beaches from Moat Marine. So we'll keep you advised on the noon show. As far as anything going on around here right now, quiet, but you certainly can see that spin in the atmosphere that's occurring back out in the Atlantic water. See it right there? An upper level low pressure area whose reflection at the surface does bring us that trough of low pressure. Hurricane Center watching a couple places out in the Atlantic, there and there. Both of those systems having between a 20 and 50% chance of building into a tropical system. This one closest to us is the highest rated area of disturbed weather. But if it did develop, it would most likely travel out into the open waters of the Atlantic and not be a bother. We'll have a west wind developing this afternoon, and the forecast calls for, again, chances of showers and thunderstorms high today at about 50%. First alert weather day because of it. 91 are high. Tomorrow, 50% chance as well, but I think there'll probably be less people on the beaches tomorrow. And then as we head into the weekend, at least half of the weekend will feature some drier weather, but we'll still stay high in terms of rain chances next work week. Back to you.
All right, thank you, John. Checking the road. Still some issues there on 301, both north and southbound between Palmetto and Ellington. So be aware of that if you're heading in that area. You might want to avoid it for now until that clears up. Not sure what's going on there. Let's check farther south now to the northern half of Sarasota County. Maybe some issues there on Fruitville westbound as you approach 41. Not too much, otherwise pretty clear. And then our final map to the south will show nothing much to report. Little congestion there, 41 southbound as you head toward the bypass. 517 right now. New images from Thailand of a youth soccer team and their coach in a flooded cave. Navy divers, including a doctor and a nurse, are now staying underground with the boys while officials work on the best way to get them out. As reporter Andrew Spencer tells us, the rescue could take months.
How many of you? 13. The most immediate challenge, according to EMT instructor and cave rescue expert Anwan Mirza, is that these boys went without food for 9 days.
We can't just give them food. They have to be reintroduced to food very carefully because just providing them with food unto itself could kill them through something we call the refeeding syndrome for people who have been without food for an extended period of time. Their physical condition as a result of that lack of food makes an immediate rescue less likely. The boys and their coach are about 1.25 miles deep inside the cave, about half a mile below the surface. The way to the exit is through tight, flooded channels, through water that is in some areas muddy and fast-moving. Cave diving is an incredibly dangerous activity for people who are very experienced doing it, and now you're looking at taking people who have no experience or very little experience with diving and putting them into a complete blackout situation where they have to rely on the regulator and the tanks with them to breathe, and losing that regulator even for a minute or two could be fatal. Crews could dig a new entrance, but that itself is a months-long process that creates its own dangers. For now, the boys are safe, but it's the start of the rainy season in Thailand, and heavy rains could cause water levels inside the cave to rise. I'm Andrew Spencer, reporting.
Hawaii is the first state in the country to ban the sale of sunscreens with certain chemicals that can harm coral reefs. The new law takes effect in 3 years. It bans the sale or distribution of any sunscreen with oxybenzone or octinoxate unless you have a prescription. Studies show these chemicals are toxic to developing corals.
Coral is such a fundamental part of a larger ecosystem that is important to the health of our planet. This bill has enormous significance, and I'm so happy.
The Consumer Healthcare Products Association says at least 70% of sunscreens in the market will be affected by this ban in Hawaii. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, Amazon has set a date for its annual summer sale. We'll tell you when you'll start seeing deals in today's Tech Bites. Next half hour, many families will be grilling to celebrate the 4th of July, the safety measures you need to take. 5:20 right now. Here is a peek at the capital of Georgia, downtown Atlanta. Pretty shot right there. As for the situation locally, John says chance of showers later on, fireworks in the sky, and some from Mother Nature as well. We'll have more of his forecast and more local news headlines coming up on your 4th of July version of Good Morning Suncoast.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
At Boys and Girls Clubs, it's not just about trying new things.
Tanya, come here.
Learning the right steps.
2, 3, 4.
Or making contact. It's not just about exploring the future. It's about helping them build it. It's about making a connection. It's about proving every kid and teen who enters our doors has what it takes. Great futures start here.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like, then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC7 on Facebook.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs, stop the crimes.
Welcome back. It's 5:23 right now. A pretty peaceful shot there of the Rosemary District right outside our studios on 10th Street. Not a lot going on. Glad you're awake though on this holiday, 4th of July. Many of you saw lightning and heard thunder right here on the Suncoast yesterday. We've got some video now of a scene a little farther north of us, north of Clearwater, in fact, in Tarpon Springs. You can see how close the lightning struck from where the cell phone video was actually taken. It can be very dangerous out there, so stay indoors when they see lightning in the area. Amazon has set the date for its annual summer sales extravaganza, also known as Amazon Prime Day. But how can you get the best deals? The story in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Amazon's Prime Day. The massive sales event will run 36 hours this year, starting on the afternoon of July 16th.
But Amazon is running early deals right now and throughout the month. Experts say to get the best deals, do your research. And remember, you must be a Prime member to take part.
A new survey finds Netflix is the most popular platform for watching entertainment on television. It's the favorite for more than a quarter of the survey's total respondents, followed by cable and broadcast TV, as well as YouTube.
And nearly 40% of people under 35 say they choose Netflix over all video options. And on this July 4th, this is what celebrations tonight won't look like at Travis Air Force Base in Northern California.
Instead, 500 of Intel's Shooting Star drones will take to the sky for an aerial routine like this one. All those drones are controlled by one person.
Pretty cool.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites, sponsored by Neutrogena Rapid Wrinkle Repair.
Oh, look. Another anti-wrinkle cream in no hurry to make anything happen. Neutrogena Rapid Wrinkle Repair works in just 1 week with the fastest retinol formula available. It's clinically proven to work on fine lines and wrinkles. 1 week? That definitely works. Rapid Wrinkle Repair. And for dark spots, Rapid Tone Repair. Neutrogena. See what's possible.
Over the last 24 hours, you've finished preparing him for college. In 24 hours, you'll send him off thinking you've done everything for his well-being. But meningitis B progresses quickly and can be fatal, sometimes within 24 hours. While meningitis B is uncommon, about 1 in 10 infected will die. Like millions of others, your teen may not be vaccinated against meningitis B. Meningitis B strikes quickly. Be quick to talk to your teen's doctor about a meningitis B vaccine.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind Your Meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
My name's Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffrey Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
The ABC7 First Alert weather app just got even better. It's easy to use once you download it. First, tell the app to follow you, so you get alerts pinpointed to exactly where you are. Then customize your settings with all the places you go, from the beach to grandmother's house. Get accurate alerts for everyone you care about. You can even pick which weather alerts and categories you want and what they sound like. More ways to customize and more ways to keep your family safe. Download the ABC7 First Alert weather app today.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish.
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
Definitely makes it even more terrifying.
Millions on the road for the 4th of July. The warning for those using a credit card at the gas station. Plus, we all feel the heat in the Suncoast. What experts suggest you do to prevent your pets from getting sick this summer. And it's a video going viral on social media. Look at this. An officer dancing with a girl in a wheelchair. Those stories and more right now on Good Morning Suncoast. Good morning, early risers. It is 5:30 on the 4th of July. Glad you're with us. I'm Ray Collins. Stephanie is off today. She's back tomorrow. John Scalzi's telling us about some unsettled weather for tonight's fireworks, John.
Yeah, you know, nothing we're not unaccustomed to during the summer in Florida, but certainly there'll be lots of people at the beaches, and the last thing we need are thunderstorms, but it's probably something we will see this afternoon, kind of similar to what we saw yesterday. Not so much at the time of the fireworks displays, but during that late afternoon and the evening time when everybody's setting up, barbecuing outside and maybe at the beaches, and that is a point when probably thunderstorms will max out. Right now, pretty quiet, so if you are traveling this morning, if you do have a morning commute, should be just fine. Don't really see a problem. It's this large spinning area of low pressure in the upper atmosphere that's going to help and produce an enhanced chance of shower and thunderstorm activity this afternoon. Probably around 2, 3, 4 o'clock, we'll start to see the storms build as that low crosses across our region, bringing us about a 50% chance, or even better, a line of showers and thunderstorms that'll gradually drift closer to the beaches. We'll talk about that coming up in just a few.
All right, good. Talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Checking the roads now. Continuing to see a problem there in Ellenton on 301 in the northbound lane. We are dispatching a live crew out to the scene to find out what the holdup is. And we'll learn together in about half an hour when we have a connection with our photographer who is traveling there right now. So stay tuned on that one. Otherwise, pretty clear in Manatee County. Checking farther south, a little more red in Sarasota County. You'll see Fruitville eastbound from 301 toward Tuttle. Also 41 northbound toward Bay Vista. And particularly a deep red line there on 41 southbound from Proctor down toward Stickney Point, and on the other side of Stickney Point as well. And then checking our final maps to the south, that shows nothing much to report at 5:32 on your 4th of July morning. And if your plans include grilling later today, we have some tips to stay safe. Marla Spence has some ideas for us. Marla, good morning.
Good morning. Today is considered to be one of the biggest grilling days of the year, and so many people, including myself, are anticipating flipping a few burgers on that grill in celebration of Independence Day. But today, some doctors are sending warnings about the dangers of grill bristle brushes. This comes after 2 women in North Carolina ended up having pieces of bristles in their grilled food. One woman happened to have a tiny grill brush bristle end up sticking to her burger and then impaled in her tongue deep back in her mouth, causing her to have 3 surgeries. With people firing up the grill for the 4th, that woman wants people to be aware and reminded that bristles and grill brushes can be dangerous.
It felt like a sharp piece of glass pierced my tongue. The first surgery, they manipulated my mouth and tongue for 4 hours, and the second surgery for 2 hours. So it's left me with ulcers and no feeling in my tongue.
Doctors recommend using a Brillo pad or a stone or even a bristle-less brush to clean your grill before you cook this 4th of July. Ray?
Okay, good tips. Thank you, Marla. A vivid reminder to leave fireworks to the experts. We've got a story about a man in Texas who got reckless and it changed his life. Now, warning, some of this video might be graphic. A man named Reed German's life has been changed forever after he picked up an artillery shell firework rather than leaving it on the ground. He lost his hand, and the mechanic has had to find a new line of work and learn to only use his other hand. He hopes others learn from his carelessness.
Everybody feels like nothing terrible can happen to you until it actually does, and it's a shame that that's the case. But it happened to me. I had an amazing life beforehand, and I still do, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of things I can't do that I used to. So I really ask for people to really think about what you're doing.
German doesn't discourage the use of fireworks. He says just leave it to the experts. Probably a good idea. It might not cross your mind, but one group that can be traumatized by fireworks are the military veterans. Loud noises and smell of gunpowder can trigger post-traumatic stress disorder. Retired U.S. Sergeant Richard Mooney says he's able to get through it by listening to loud music indoors. He also says talking about it with other vets supports him as well.
It felt like a sharp piece of glass pierced my tongue. The first surgery, they manipulated.
If you plan on setting off fireworks in your neighborhood, it's best to check with neighbors who who you know are veterans, let them know. Also try setting off fireworks within a reasonable time frame as well. Using a credit card at the gas station is convenient, but it can make you an easy target for a scam that's not going away. As reporter Nathan Elgren shows us, the Secret Service is now involved.
Obviously, you would feel invaded. You can't even begin to unravel how many accounts you have to close and all the things you have to do. Is the mortgage safe? Is everything safe?
Nick Steinley finds it terrifying that millions of Americans have gotten their credit or debit card numbers stolen by simply paying for gas at the pump. The information is taken by discrete devices called skimmers, which can read magnetic strips.
The targeted areas, one would be the card reader and the other would be the keypad.
Detective Orrin Hawkins with Cape Police says it can be difficult to catch the criminals planting these devices because they move from city to city and it can take weeks before victims realize they've been hacked.
It is a constantly moving operation. It would have to be one of those instances where, say, we were able to confirm that a device had a skimmer in it, and maybe we would set up some sort of counter surveillance on that location and maybe wait and see if that individual would return back, and then we would act at that point.
Detective Hawkins says the best way to avoid a skimmer altogether is to pay for your gas at the counter. But despite the risk, Steinley says he'll continue swiping at the pump.
Definitely makes it even more terrifying. I don't know if it'll change any of my habits, though. I might be just that stupid, where I'm just going to keep taking the risk and keep getting out of here in a timely manner.
An update now on the no swim advisory at Bird Key Park. State officials have lifted the warning. They say the test results now show safe levels for swimmers at Bird Key Park, which is between the Ringling Causeway and St. Armand Circle. Florida Fish and Wildlife is looking for your help to monitor red tide along the Suncoast. FWC says it needs volunteers who live along the coast to help their scientists collect water samples. Volunteers will need to be able to collect samples at least once a month from piers, bridges, docks, or even a mile offshore. If you're interested in signing up for one of those duties, you can find more information on our website at mysuncoast.com. Nearly 50,000 people in Manatee County don't always know where their next meal is coming from. 50,000. And while the Food Bank of Manatee County supplies groceries to local pantries, another group, Feed Tampa Bay, is changing the way the food is passed out. With the new model, pantries can pick up food directly from the agency's warehouse. They can pay a fee to have it delivered, or they can go to an assigned store for donations. One local food pantry has already noticed a difference in food quality.
You never know what you're going to get at the store. Food Bank of Manatee used to go out and get all that food and bring it back to the warehouse and pack it up so we knew exactly what we were going to get each time we went to Food Bank of Manatee. Just the stuff we needed for our clients.
Feeding Tampa Bay says this model has worked in other counties, and their hope is to provide more food throughout Manatee County as well. Still ahead, caught on camera, an officer goes above and beyond to put a smile on a little girl's face. Great story there. Let's take a live shot now halfway around the world. This is Thailand going on right now. 12 little soccer players and their coach stuck in a cave for 11 days. They went in there for some sightseeing. It flooded. They're stuck. We'll have updates on their situations throughout the morning here on Good Morning Suncoast. As for the local forecast here, what do you got, John?
Well, the fire danger risk is still high across the region, especially coastal areas, despite all that rain shower activity that we've had. So there'll be a lot of outdoor barbecue grillers today. Just recall both Sarasota, Manatee, and Charlotte County are in the moderate risk for fire danger, so be careful there. Otherwise, air quality is good if you're going to be out and about. Ozone, the major contributor, but it's not a big deal. We're looking at good conditions throughout the day. And as far as the beach forecast goes, look for 87 degrees the air temperature, noon storms, afternoon storms, and a UV index coming in at about a 10. Complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
We have a 74-degree air temperature. We have a dew point value coming in at 72, so we still have a lot of moisture available in the atmosphere to spark showers and thunderstorms. So what do we need to get them going? A little bit of a sea breeze, a little daytime heating, and some support from a trough of low pressure moving across the state. Together, that all brings us good chances of rainfall as we head into the afternoon. So we'll call it a First Alert Weather Day, not because we expect anything that's terribly out of the ordinary, but because it's going to affect so many people who are planning outdoor celebrations, of course, in the afternoon with barbecues and setting up their spots for fireworks displays, et cetera, that I think it could be kind of disruptive. The 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms is for those areas inland initially, east of the interstate, where the sea breeze will spark larger storms, and then there'll be west-moving storms that'll come back toward the coastline. So everybody gets a chance at some rainfall today. They should dissipate pretty nicely by the time the fireworks displays take place, but still, during the pre-fireworks display celebrations, could be a problem. So across the region right now, you see the general build of those storms yesterday at around 5 o'clock. They came in on the sea breeze front and moved out into Gulf waters. Same sort of situation again today. Currently, everything's quiet. Nothing to worry about. If you have a morning commute, it should be just fine. It's the trip home where you could have a problem. Again, red tide update status from Mote Marine Laboratories indicates a couple of spots indicated here by the purple and yellow flags that have red tide irritant in the air, caused by, of course, the algae bloom in the water. And those locations tend to get a little bit worse the further south you head. A general westerly wind flow will be with us again this afternoon. And the weather highlights include this little trough of low pressure that'll be moving across the state and influencing the weather across the region. With a general easterly wind flow, the sea breeze builds the thunderstorms. The little trough of low pressure enhances the rainfall chances, and that general easterly wind pushes those storms closer to our coastline. So mostly sunny to start. You might be heading out to the beach and see plenty of sunshine around lunchtime or so and say, yes, it looks like it's going to be a pretty good day, but watch those building afternoon storms. Remember your 30-30 rule. If you see a flash of lightning and you cannot count to 30 before you hear the thunder, it means you're in danger of being struck. And if you can't remember that, Remember that if you hear thunder, you're in danger of being struck and should seek shelter. A few evening coastal showers, again, possible, I think. A good chance of that, about 30–40% as we head into the evening hours. The Futurecast kind of shows you the feel of what we expect to see a little bit later on today. Sea breeze starts to build. We get a few showers begin to pop up along that sea breeze front by around lunchtime, and then we see them become more numerous and stronger as they gradually drift back toward the coastline. It's really those 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock showers that will gradually drift closer to the coast with pops of lightning. So those are the ones we're going to have to watch. By nighttime, I think everything should dissipate pretty nicely, and most of those fireworks displays, I think, will get off without a hitch. So that's the good news. As far as overnight conditions go, they look pretty good. Oh, we don't need to do that again, I guess. We already did that once. Again, red tide thickest down toward the south. East to west wind coming in at about 5 knots. We'll look for 2-foot seas, light chop. And today's tides, a 11:42 low tide, high tide at 4:42, and another tide off just after midnight at 12:38. So here's your 7-day forecast, looking at 91, our daytime high today and tomorrow. We'll call today a first alert weather day because of those disruptive afternoon storms. And then as we head into the next several days, into the weekend, we'll look for about a 30–40% chance of showers Friday and Saturday. Better chance on Sunday. The character of those storms are going to change. There'll be morning showers and storms near the coast, followed by inland storms later in the day, leaving the coast pretty quiet. And the rain chances continue on into next week. Back to you.
All right, thank you, John. Looks like the issue earlier on 301 has since cleared up. There, it's all clear sailing right now across Manatee County. That's good news. Let's check farther south now on the map in the northern half of Sarasota County. And we'll see nothing anymore in the red. It's gotten better as the hour has progressed. Just some caution spots there at 41 toward the Ringling Causeway, and then other end of your screen there down by Stickney Point, 41. Nothing major right now. And then farther south, we'll check that final map, and it shows all clear at 5:47. Well, 4th of July goes with fireworks, but in North Carolina, officials are warning parents to tell their kids about certain fireworks that look a lot like toys. Gina Esposito has our story.
Yeah, these are the 2 fireworks that fire officials in Concord are concerned about. They look just like children's toys, and they tell me that this unicorn is actually illegal in North Carolina. Does this look like a firework?
No, it looks like kids' toys.
The sweet eyes of this unicorn are deceiving. John Schell has enjoyed fireworks with his children in the past, but he's never seen something quite like this.
It is very discouraging that these manufacturers are making these fireworks to look like toys, and in no way, shape, or form are these toys.
Adam Ryerson with the Concord Fire Department says fire inspectors discovered the unicorn and dragon during an inspection at a fireworks stand.
The My Little Pony looking one shoots smoke out the backside and then flames and sparks out the front. When we did our test, 2 different projectiles came out in front of that.
Ryerson says that aspect of the unicorn makes it illegal in North Carolina.
As soon as we identified it, she pulled them off the shelf.
Ryerson says if parents see the fireworks, don't buy them.
It's good to know so kids can be safe and make sure that, adults are setting off the fireworks and that the kids aren't playing with something that could be dangerous for them.
The summer doesn't mean just hot weather. It also means more fleas and mosquitoes that can make your cats and dogs sick. Animal shelters want pet owners to give flea and heartworm prevention medicine to their dogs and cats now. If your pets are not on any prevention medicine and get heartworms, the treatment can be very costly. Heartworms can be deadly to your pet. The animal shelter says now is the time to get the medicine for your pets.
Make sure your animal has the flea prevention and the heartworm prevention, especially in the summer. I mean, all year long, but summer months, the fleas are worse, the mosquitoes are worse.
The shelter says you can get the prevention medicine from any veterinarian in the area. Well, during the hot summer months, it's important to realize it's even hotter on playground equipment. The heat can turn a playground into an oven before the afternoon hits. Playground equipment in one county in Mississippi measured 175 degrees. A firefighter there named Joe Nix says 120 degrees can cause second-degree burns, and anything above 140 degrees will cause third-degree skin lesions. He says any equipment with hard plastic is what parents should look for, especially equipment with dark colors and black rubber. Nix says that if it's hot to you, it's even hotter for children.
With these temperatures, just playing on the playground, it can be very, very dangerous. And
so would you suggest parents just not bring their kids out here?
In the hottest part of the day, don't bring them out.
Fire officials say the best way to avoid injury is to touch the equipment first with the back of your hand before a child gets on it. Happening today, the annual Nathan's Famous Hot Dog Eating Contest. Yesterday, competitors had a weigh-in at the Empire State Building. Returning champ Joey Chestnut is the #1 ranked eater in the world. He weighs 216 pounds. He'll weigh more by tomorrow at this time. He won last year. He ate 72 hot dogs. He was joined in the weigh-in by Carmen Sincati, as well as other competitors as well. Yeah, it's male and female. Some 25,000 fans will go to Coney Island on Long Island for the July 4th holiday showdown. No, thank you. Here's our video of the day. This Houston police officer was not only serving his community, he also made a young girl's 15th birthday unforgettable. The sweet moment was recorded by a DJ at the party over the weekend. This is in Texas. The little girl was a guest at the traditional celebration of a 15-year-old's birthday for the Hispanic culture. She was apparently surprised when the officer asked for the dance. You can see the officer spin the girl around as they enjoyed the dance floor. The officer in the video said he was happy he could put a smile on her face. Way to go. 5:51 right now. Shot outside our window. John says you might enjoy the fireworks, but the barbecue earlier in the evening might be a challenge. It is a first alert weather day. He'll explain that. We'll have 3 of the top news headlines next on Good Morning Suncoast.
Our nurse, Jennifer, all we did is pick up the phone if I was having a bad day, and the next thing we know, she was here at the door. I can't believe that I would have received any greater care anywhere. From that moment on, everything changed dramatically, and I don't know what we would have done without that.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment, and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
Thank you. Bye, have a good night, be safe. What are you doing?
You are the best protection she has. Buddy up. I'm Jill Harrington. Please visit HelpSaveTheNextGirl.com and get involved.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. It's gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
When ABC7 declares a first alert weather day, it means we can expect major changes to weather conditions here along the Suncoast.
It means there could be severe, potentially dangerous weather ahead.
We tell you when a first alert weather day is coming because we want you to be prepared.
A first alert weather day is an advance warning. We'll let you know about any changes in the weather when the first signs appear.
ABC7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
Welcome back. Here are the top headlines on the Suncoast today. President Trump says colleges should stop considering a student's race when it comes to the admissions process. He wants to rescind Obama-era guidelines, calling them outdated. A battle is brewing at Sarasota City Hall about whether to spend $500,000 on a new paper storage facility. The clerk of courts and a majority of commissioners want it, but the mayor says the timing is not good, with the city already considering raising taxes. And look at this. A July 3rd event at Benderson Park last night got off to a rough start. Bad weather blew some vendors' tents around. And bad news, more unsettled weather is in the forecast for later on today. Next half hour, President Trump is firming up his short list of contenders for the next U.S. Supreme Court nominee. Wildfires are burning across the West. At least 70,000 acres is burning, with only 5% contained. And it's video going viral on social media. A bear found making himself at home, what he's caught sipping on all next hour in the 6 o'clock hour of Good Morning Suncoast. First, one last peek at the forecast from John Scalzi.
So today we'll start off nice. Lots of sunshine around. It'll be a great day to get out there and maybe do an early barbecue. By early afternoon, though, watch for some storms to build in inland locations first, and there'll be west movers drifting back to the coastline. Remember, if you hear thunder, you're in danger of being struck, and you need to seek shelter until the thunder subsides. Back to you, Ray.
All right, thank you, John. We've got plenty of information on our website, mysuncoast.com, and also on our individual social media pages about where you can see fireworks displays tonight across the Suncoast. Of course, Sarasota's Bayfront, around Marina Jack. You also have Siesta Key, Bradenton's Riverwalk, and several others as well. Check out mysuncoast.com for the variety of places you can see fireworks tonight. 5:56 right now. Another hour of Good Morning Suncoast is straight ahead.